Have you ever questioned what would happen if you put a cat in a box with a snake? Or what would happen if a tortoise raced the fastest man alive with a head start? Get it? Head start? My name is Start. Or did you ever try to repair your friend with other body parts? And then asked, would they still be your friend? These are all paradoxes we're gonna talk about today. But first, what is a paradox? A paradox is a seemingly absurd or contradictory statement or proposition which, when investigated, may prove to be well-founded or true. Or in other words, something that makes sense logically, but when you actually follow it, your brain doesn't want to brain anymore. For example, you're going to like and subscribe. Unless you don't. Which means you already did. Let's talk about Schrödinger's cat. Wait, did Schrödinger actually have a cat? No. That's disappointing. Anyway, we're going to use Spookston as the cat, because I don't want to possibly hurt an actual cat. But before we start, I did some research to fact check this paradox. And apparently, this paradox is a bit different than what I remember. I thought we were going to use a snake. That's disappointing. Oh well. Shit! I needed that snake force poison! So, here's the setup. We put Spookston in this box. Inside the box is a bottle of poison, connected to a hammer, connected to a timer. When the timer ends, the hammer might break the bottle on top of Spookston, if he's standing right here, and here's a safe spot. The point is, once the box is closed, we cannot know what happened inside, until we open it. So from our perspective, Spookston is alive and dead at the same time. This is the paradox. Why did Schrödinger invent this scenario? Something about proving the flaws of subatomic quantum mechanics. Or probabilities. Take what you will of that. I'm a YouTuber, not a scientist. Don't worry. Spookston is a ghost. He won't die. Probably? Moving on. Achilles and the tortoise. Possibly one of my favorite paradoxes. It's like the tortoise and the hare, but way more confusing. So basically, Achilles, one of the fastest Greek heroes, races a tortoise, but the tortoise gets a head start. When Achilles runs after him, he never manages to overtake the tortoise. I know, anybody could outrun a tortoise. It's going to make sense. Every time Achilles reaches the spot where the tortoise was, emphasis on was, the tortoise has already moved forward. So Achilles is always catching up, but never surpassing. Visually, it makes sense. In words, it's a brain fart. Don't worry, I didn't understand this in high school either. But now I do, because it can be read in many different ways. For example, the human desire to reach something, like money, fame, success. But once we get close, we only want more. I don't know why Achilles desires a turtle, but Greek men were pretty weird. Especially you, Zeus. Now imagine you're a time traveler and accidentally kill someone, like your grandfather, before he met your grandmother. That means one of your parents is never born, which means you are never born. But then, who killed your grandfather? That's the grandfather paradox. It's meant to show that time travel isn't possible. Or is it? Maybe time is linear, just not the way we think it is. Maybe the moment you go back in time, that was always supposed to happen. That is the timeline. So when you go back, you don't change the original timeline. You create the only one that ever existed, because time isn't a straight line you bend into loops and circles. It's a line made of actions. And if you change an action, the present and future must change too. So, if you kill your grandfather, you stop existing. But if you stop existing, you never went back in time, which means your grandfather never died, which means you were born, which means you went back in time, which means you killed him! Yeah.
Have you heard of the Ship of Theseus?
This might be my favorite for no apparent reason. Now, do you own a ship?
No.
You're really testing my patience, aren't you? If your ship gets damaged, and you replace a part, and over years and years of replacing, you end up replacing every single part, is it still the same ship?
Ships don't work like that.
Now, let's speedrun a few from Wikipedia. Whoa, there's a lot of paradoxes. Hold on. Okay, I handpicked a few of them and summarized them to get straight to the point. Lottery paradox. Every ticket is probably a loser, but one of them has to win. This one does make sense. The Raven paradox. Seeing a green apple technically supports the idea that all ravens are black. If I stretch my eyes, I do kinda see where this is going. This is probably one of my favorite ones. The crocodile dilemma. If a crocodile promises to return a child only if the father guesses correctly what it'll do, what happens if the father guesses you won't return the child? Why would a crocodile kidnap a child and ask the father? I do understand the other paradoxes that I talked about today, but the crocodile... The court paradox. A student promises to pay his teacher after winning his first case. The teacher sues him before that happens. This one is very funny. Very funny. The teacher is kinda the asshole here, but remember kids, always pay your teacher. Opposite day. It's opposite day, so it isn't. Unless it is. Which means it isn't. So my friends have been lying to me this whole time. Unless today is opposite day, which wasn't said, but actually it is. So... If you understood everything I said, congratulations! You are a paradox in yourself. Because I didn't. Or did I? You will never find out. Perhaps I was the paradox all along!